Hey, what's going on everyone? Sparks here. Welcome to another beginner-focused video about Dissidia Omnia. This is going to be a real quick one focusing on launches, because Kais recently released and the strengths of his kit focus on his ability to get into the air. Just thought I'd make a small video on the launch mechanic as a whole. With that out of the way, let's jump into it. Launching, also referred to in-game as knockback, is a mechanic where one character sends an attack unit into the air, and the other party members have the possibility to go into the air and perform what are called chain attacks. Every enemy has an individual hidden value called chase HP, which dictates how easy or hard it is to launch them. Some units have moves that make launches happen more often, while others have moves that can on-demand initiate a launch, assuming the enemy isn't immune to launches outright. When an enemy is ready to be launched, this icon will appear on them, and doing any attack to them will send them into the air as well as any applicable teammates. An attack that does splash brave or HP damage can be used to maintain the launch marker as long as you're not directly targeting the enemy with the marker, and a move that forces a launch that has splash or split damage will also set the other enemies to be launched. Note that chase HP does have some sort of regen to it, where if you stall turns on an enemy that has the launch icon on them, it might go away, it might not. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but sometimes it's a strategic move you can make to put yourself in a more favorable launch position. Speaking of launch positions, as I mentioned earlier, when you send an enemy into the air, your other party members can possibly join in and do chain attacks. Whether or not they'll go into the air is dependent on where they are in the turn order. Basically, they'll go into the air if their next turn is between you and the next enemy, and it doesn't matter what enemy comes next or which enemy you're launching. For example, if you have party members 1, 2, and 3, with 1 being the launcher in the order below, and enemies A and B, it doesn't matter if you're launching A or B. Both 2 and 3 will go into the air. But if we have party member 3 placed after the enemies, they will not join the launch. But again, 2 will go into the air no matter if A or B is launched. There are certainly benefits to doing as many launches as you can or making launch-focused parties. For one, chain attacks are an effective way to either dump bravery or gain bravery. Launches also greatly add to your summon gauge and your overall score at the end of the fight. Most noticeably, HP dumps can be boosted during chain attacks by the likes of Pandemonium's Summon Blessing and Kais's EX buff, on top of an extra bonus to total damage once the enemy hits the wall at the end of the launch. All the launch damage can very quickly add up, and using party batteries can let you possibly get around certain weapon type restrictions due to the sheer HP damage still being so high. The only caveat to this is generally when you want to capitalize on launches, you'll want to use specific units and, as you'd imagine, Pandemonium, which for some fights is less than ideal. But as Kais has shown, it's not absolutely required. Hopefully this video answered any lingering questions you may have had about launches, or if you weren't aware in the first place, explained the mechanic. If you liked it, let me know, and if you're interested in any other Omnia content, feel free to subscribe as I upload things like small event primers, fight footage, and breakdowns on other topics. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.